Zaya Yashala, also known as Isaiah Yashala. And I'm just going to jump right in, and it's just going to be just straight organic. So while we have the Benathian and the daughters sleep, I want to say salute to everybody. Tawada Abanala Yahweh, Ba'asham, Hawashai, name of the son, Hawashai for this Barak Yawam Shabbat Wachadash. Today, thank you, Father, in the name of the son, Hawashai, for this blessed Sabbath and new moon. Today is new moon. Everybody's supposed to be together today. Everybody's supposed to be eating. Everybody's supposed to be feasting. Everybody's supposed to be enjoying themselves. This is one of the hardest things I've seen Israelites do, unless you're a part of what's called a so-called camp. The reason why I say so-called is because the name camp means the entire nation. The word camp means the entire nationality. So technically, you're all part of a camp. We're all part of a camp. So unless you're part of a camp, this is one of the hardest things to do. So I know I've read in the Bible about feast days. I've read about holy convocations. Let me turn the volume down just a little bit while the babies are sleeping. We're going to try to do a crash course, Torah portion reading. And excuse me, I don't have my glasses, so I'll be doing a lot of squinting. All right. So let's get to it real quick. All right. So we're at Deuteronomy chapter 11. And this week's Torah portion starts at verse 26. So Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26, and we're going to be stopping at Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 17. All right. So earlier we did a video, and the Benathian, they were very active. I like to teach. I love to teach. You know, I don't like my thoughts being interrupted. You know, if we're in a conversation, that's cool, but in the corpse of edifying, it's a very serious matter. The apostles, even the apostles themselves. Look at this. Come over here with me. All right, look at this. Acts chapter 6, KJV. Acts chapter 6. Let's see. Boom. Look at this. Oh, I can't zoom in on my screen. I have to do it this way. All right. So Acts chapter 6. Look at this. Verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples, the students of Christ, right? You had the apostles, which were the major 12. Then you had the disciples. So at that time, when the disciples were what? When the disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring, a complaining amongst the Grecians. That's the Gentiles, because the Gentiles were being taken care of by the Israelite women. The Israelite men were taken care of. The Israelite women were taken care of. The Gentiles that followed us were taken care of, right? Now, watch this. Against the Hebrews. Now, that's something that's very important, because you have a lot of Yashalim who don't believe we're supposed to help. We're not supposed to teach. We're not supposed to be good to the Gentiles. Them Negroes is off as hell. Super dummy off. So you're off if you think that the Goyim aren't supposed to be not only brought to Christ and the Most High, you're also off if you're teaching them incorrectly, and you're off if you're abusing them, right? The Gentiles are supposed to be taught our God, flat out, right? He's the God of the world, and the Most High gave us his ordinances to be able to teach the world. Now watch this. So in those days, when the number of disciples, that's all of you are disciples now. You're disciples of Christ. You're disciples of the apostles. Was multiplied, there arose a complaining, murmuring amongst the Gentiles, white people, Grecians, against the Hebrews, the children of Israel, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministrations. So in other words, we issued out food. We issued out, everybody needs clothes. Everybody needs this. Everybody needs that. And what happened was, when that happened, the elders of Israel were called. Now, I am no elder. I am an elder of one. I'm an elder of two, right? Correct. I'm an elder of three, right? Elder of myself and my two daughters, right? Now, I'm an elder of my household. I'm an elder of the community of those who ever have elected me. Ezekiel chapter 33, a watchman, right? So we take teaching very serious, right? This is life and death. Watch this. When the problem came forward that the Gentiles weren't being helped, the elders were called. So I call on my Zaquanium. And when I wasn't helped by my Zaquanium, ooh, it put me in a tissel. It made me feel like Jephthah. Yes, I said it. It put me in a tissel, right? Because my Amma didn't give me permission to cuss. But it doesn't mean that I'm not upset. I have to just be careful with my words. It put me in a tissel when my elders didn't respond to me, because you're supposed to be able to call on your Zaquanium. We call on our Zaquanium when the people that were around us, that were following our laws, statutes, commandments Yahweh gave us, when they weren't treated correctly, the elders were called on. Now watch this. I know I said it myself. Verse 2. Now in verse 2 it says, and the 12 called, right? But in verse 1, it says, and in those days, when the number of the disciples were multiplied. So you see the disciples up here. You all are the disciples. You're supposed to be telling people when they're wrong. You're supposed to be telling people you can't eat pork. Waxing crescent is not moon, a new moon. Waxing crescent is the last day of new. You're supposed to be telling people, women, cover your butts. If you're my sister, if you're my mother, if you're my rib, if you're my whoop whoop, and you're not properly garmented, and I see your body, I'm gonna be, if you're my daughter, I'm gonna be offended. If you're my niece and I see your body, your frame, I might be nice. I might be like, hey, you should cover up, you know, whoop whoop whoop. But inside of me, I'm very upset because you all are supposed to be judges, officers, and elders of our communities. You're supposed to be teaching the law, statutes, commandments, judgments, the ordinances, and your disciples. But watch this. You all are the disciples, but look, there were 12 that were called the apostles. That's the difference. The 12 were the apostles of Yahweh, and you all are the 12 apostles. You all are their disciples. You all are trying to overall, sometimes me, even myself, try to override Yahweh Mashiach. But we're supposed to be going to this Aquanium, which are the 12 that are sitting on the throne, even the 12 elders of the 12 tribes, right? Each one, right? Each father of the 12 tribes. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Gad, Issachar, Manasseh, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, the forefathers. So the patriarchs. So a lot of people, especially Israelite women, are trying to override not only their husbands, their fathers. They run to other men, neglect their sons, and go and use that man over there. They neglect their husbands and go and use that man over there. They neglect their elders and just do whatever's suitable for them. And a lot of Israelite men do that too. And that's the part that hurts, that sucks, because us being disciples of the apostles, we forget that we're supposed to call them as a quantum. If you can't reach that as a quantum, call them as a quantum, you go up the chain of command. So stop skipping this aquarium, all right? Play your position, play your roles, all right? It's okay to be angry, but in your anger, do not sin. Now watch this. When the Gentiles, Grecians, look, it's the Grecians, the Ionians. I don't need to ask anybody, oh, do you think? No, it's the Ionians, right? So when the Ionians, the children of Japheth, Genesis chapter 10, when they were being neglected because they followed Christ after they seen him resurrected, there's so many Gentiles that follow Hamashiach Yahushua to this day, and you Israelites are wrong. You're wrong in your mistreatment. You're wrong in the miseducation of them. You're wrong in not welcoming them in. Negroes is ridiculous. Think you're going to be bumping into each other in the kingdom of heaven, just saying shalom to each other. We got to teach the Goa young also. That's our job. We are obligated to. Deuteronomy chapter 27. Can a man speak? Goodness gracious. Deuteronomy chapter, we're in Acts chapter 6. I was referring to Deuteronomy. So Acts chapter 6. And this is verse 2. Watch what happens. Then the 12 apostles called the multitude of the disciples, so that's all of you all, unto them and said, it is not reason. I'm going to stop right there. Reason is a very easy way of saying wisdom. Wisdom gives us reason. It is not wise that we should leave the word of God. I got books here. I got books here. I got books here. I got a blessing, 2 blessings sitting over there. It's not reason for me that I should leave the word of God and serve tables. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because earlier I did a real quick recap. I hope everybody can hear this. Shalom, Kwame Yashwali, Yabrakum, Yabasham, check out. I hope everybody can hear this. The reason I'm bringing this up is because earlier I did a video, and in the video, it was, we were beginning our Torah portion class, and within me, there was so much pain. There was so much agony that I felt. And I'm going to tell you all why. Hold on, wait, let me tell you all why. All right, let me pull the camera up. Big head guy. So let me tell you why. There was so much pain because I know within the Israelite community, there's women, there's children, there's men. There's a beautiful Israelite community here. Israel Now and a whole bunch of Israelite communities. Some of them are messianic, some of them are not. Some of them are just, still forming. There's so many that are here, right? And one of the hardest things I've heard, I've worked with a bunch of Yashar, and one of the hardest things I've seen is Negroes coming together. It's disgusting. There's something coming towards Earth, which is called AI Atlas. All right. 3I, excuse me, 3I, not AI, it's 3I Atlas, right? Third intergalactic interstellar. And I talked about it before the social media started talking about it. But my point is saying that is to say I was already aware, right? But I was already aware talking to people so we all could get, so I could be like, hey, Yashar, look at this. You know why? Because you all are smarter than me. You all are so much smarter than me. I am the least of all the Israelite teachers and brothers. So many, right? But if I can get something, a pinpoint that can catch your attention to get you all talking, then we can start formulating and come up with a better solution than what we're having right now. Because everybody knows we're supposed to be doing law, statutes, commandments, judgments, love your neighbor as yourself. Husbands, don't put away your wives. Wives, don't leave your husbands. Children, obey your parents. Keep the Shabbat day holy. Don't eat unclean meats. All these things are right here. And Yashar kind of got into this comfortable wave of just like, yeah. While we see all the signs that's written in the book of Revelations. How? I don't get it. It's not reason, it's not meat for the men of the Lord to stop what they're doing and serve tables. You know why? Because I've been in the situations to where, hold on, let me fix this camera. I've been in the conditions that, wait, okay, I want to make sure everybody can see it. I want y'all to be able to buy it quick. So I've been in the situations to where not only did I, but other men of the Most High served other men of the Most High so women and children can come in and just enjoy themselves. We've swept the floors. We've opened the doors. We've paved the way. We've prayed. We've flown across oceans. We've wrestled with international police. All for you Israelites. All for you Gentiles. So Salach Layah. When I see mothers, brothers, sisters, fathers, family members of the children of Jacob, when I see all of us, and I'm the least, right? When I see people that are greater than me, right? Men who say you gotta work hard and you'll achieve everything you want in slavery. You already working hard. You're the worker of the week. Work harder, slave. When I see people that are already in positions who think their prosperity is their blessings and they just ride the wave. And see, I've had much, I've had little. I've learned to be content with both. When I see that, I'm learning to be content with both because, boy, when I see that, and I'm like, yo, how do these people know the oracles of Jah and still don't keep the Shabbat, still eat pork, still won't gather together? How do I know these people? I see these people. They know the oracle. They smarter than me. Don't you got a high school diploma? Don't you got a GED? Don't you got college degrees? Don't you know the words say we're supposed to gather together? Oh, nation not desired. And it'd be the weirdos. It'd be the undesired within the nation of the undesired. It'd be them that be begging to gather together. And all of you good, upstanding citizens, so I sincerely, I'm so grateful for everything that we go through together. When I see all you good, upstanding citizens doing so good and reaching out and helping others, it just really makes my heart happy. So I want to tell everybody, man, this is what you're supposed to do. This is 1 Kings chapter 2. I hope you see this. 1 Kings chapter 2. This is when King David was dying. 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 2. I go the way of the... I don't know when I'm going to die. Some of us are not going to see death until Christ returns. My bad. It's kind of hard to teach. So I apologize. I would like to say what there should be, but people know what it should be, and it ain't. So I talk about it. I apologize. King David said, I go the way of all the earth. Each and every single one of us will die. There will be some of us that won't die until we the coming of Christ. Be thou strong, therefore. Now, this is how we show our strength. I praise Yahweh. He's helping heal me. My eating habits are getting bad. I started eating bread again, I'm drinking Gatorade Zero, and I had some Dr. Pepper 0 calories. So I drink some of those, and yeah, I know, and I'm eating bread, and those dietary things. Those aren't good for me. Well, I'm very grateful. The Most High is changing my form. I'm changing, right? So that doesn't mean I'm strong, though. I've been buffer. I've been buff. I've been dummy buffer like this. I've been fat. I've been skinny. I've always been strong, but that's not the registry of strength that God Almighty tells us. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God to walk in his ways. I'm very, wow. God tells me how to be a man. Wow. It's right here in the Bible. Wow. To keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies as it is written in the law of Moses, not in the Quran, not in the Kibud and the Glast, not in the book of the dead, not in the book of Mormons, none of them. So, Israelite men, I'm not a man yet to the degree of, still very much a child. Israelite young men, I'm addressing you all. If you want to be a man of God, tell everybody no and tell God yes. Whenever somebody asks you to do something, look at them in their face. Think about it. Don't worry about if they're your friend or not. If they ask you to do something that's against what God said, automatically, Laah. Laah. Don't sell your soul. My love ain't for sale. My love ain't for sale. You can't purchase my love. You can't convince me. And once you can't buy my love. I'm already bought with a price. Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai, the Mashiach Messiah. He already bought me. So my love ain't for sale. So young men of Israel, don't your love be for sale either. It's the Shabbat day. I would that there was more men to teach the Torah with me. There should be 5, 6, 7, 8. I gotta read it again. Within the Judean Discovery Scrolls, every city is to have a certain number of judges, officers, and elders. Every city. And in the process of, our people can learn what their issues are, hear their issues, and actually consider what we should do. Today is not only a new moon, it's not only a Sabbath, it's also called a dark new moon. Reason being is because it's extended. The Israelites don't believe in New Year. I don't know why. It's called bisextile. They say Jewish people come up with that. No, they didn't. So if you're smart, you're intelligent, because the word smart actually means like painful or sharp. If you're smart, you're actually like smart, witty, kind of painfully intelligent, right? If you're intelligent, right, you should know how many weeks there are in 1 month, right? So within that 1 month, there should be a certain number of new moons. Can anybody do the math on how many new moons we're having within this month, within this time frame of months? Why is this new moon not only called a new moon, it's also called a dark moon? Why is this at the same time that the third I don't know if you understand this, intergalactic, interstellar, this means very far away. This means farther than the planets that we know of. This means further than what we can see. There's a pattern of flying things. People don't care about it. They say that's for you to care about. That's not for, they say, I don't want to think about it. I don't understand those type of thoughts. When we see the signs that we're seeing today, right now, we should be pressing more into Yahweh Shai and causing others to. What's the purpose of having a book that predicts the future and warns you if you don't believe it or act on it when you see the warnings coming? I know what a drive-by look like. I know what a drive-by feels like. I know the signs of a drive-by. Now, I'm not saying our people are, let me just cut this off. I think it's very important to pay attention to the prophetical signs that we read in the Bible. Let's continue on real quick. I'm gonna cut that off. All right. All right. So let's get right back to it. Earlier we started with the Torah portion. We did Deuteronomy chapter 11. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen. Everybody can see it right here. Deuteronomy chapter 11. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 11 is with the ordinances. All right. The ordinances, re'eh, ra'ah. All right. Watch, observe. All right. The Most High tells us to observe. You're not going to observe the stars. Are you Negroes blind? Who was blind but my servant? You Negroes so blind, y'all not going to even look up. I show brothers how to do it on the phone. Read it to them in the languages as it was showed to me. The Most High is trying to get our attention. Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 26 is where we're going to start at. Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 26. I pray everybody can see this page. All right, I apologize for the excessive squint. I don't have glasses on. Whatever. 11:26. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 11 verse 26. Let's get it. All right. All right. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. 27. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahweh, your Elohim, which I command ye this day. Stop right there. Let's open up our handy dandy Hebrew, because somebody is watching for the first time. They're like, what did he just say? Why did he say that? Because we're not niggas no more. We're not niggers. We're not porch monkeys. We're not coons. We're not gator baits. We ain't dumb people from, I was just born here in Ohio. I was born in Kentucky. Oh, I was born in, that's not us. We are the children of a man whose name is Jacob, and this is our language. We speak English because that's what we're taught. It vexes me to have to teach my babies English so much. I want to teach my babies in Hebrew so much. I got to remind myself to speak my language, teaching my children, because the people around me that know Hebrew don't speak it. Vexing. Years of Yahweh helping us, and we don't really appreciate it. So here's our language. It says a blessing. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26. A blessing if you obey, right? The commandments of. Now in English, it says the Lord, but in Hebrew, the word the isn't there, right? A blessing if you obey. You see that word right there? That's the word that you're all familiar with. So I know somebody was just like, yeah, I know that word. That's Yahweh. Okay. So first character, Yah, Ha, Wah, Yahweh. Let's see. My pointer is too big, so it keeps getting away. Yahweh, right? So Yahweh, as you see it, as it's mentioned in the Bible, it don't say Ahaya. As you listen to this music, you're going to hear them say Yahweh. You're going to hear them say Yahweh through their whole music. All right. So right here it says Yahweh is mentioned as his name 6,510 times. Why wouldn't I say Yahweh? It's written as God 4 times and Jehovah once, and as a variant 1 time. So I hope that helps everybody. This is the characters. This is the word. This is the page. We're going to copy this. We're going to go over here. I'm going to post it just in case anybody wants to. Oh, what link were you at? Okay, there we are. All right. And I got to be as sincere as possible. I like to know things. And not only do I like to know things, I like people to know things. I like to know things, and I like people to know things. Like, I'm not a hoarder of information. Right? I sincerely like to teach. I have a passion for edifying, especially when you learn something. It's like, yo, how can you keep that to yourself? How can you keep it to yourself? So this is this week's Torah portion. All right, let's get back to this real quick. So there's the word Yahweh. There's where we get it from. That's why we say Yahweh. And if you even look at the top of the page, look up here, you see it says Yehovah, Yehovah, Ova. All right. It's there to help you. This is Gentile italics, and this is Gentile pronunciation. All right. These are Gentile vowels. Yah, ha, wa. That's what these 4 characters make. Yah, ha, wa. All right. I'm not polyparroting. I'm repeating to edify you. All right. So let's go back to our verse. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 27. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahweh, your God. which I command you, not suggest, I command you this day, and a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Yahweh, your God. But turn aside out of my way, which I command you this day to go after other gods, which you have not known. And it shall come to pass when Yahweh, your God, has brought thee in unto the land, whether thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim and the curse upon Mount Ebal. I can help you explain that later, but a lot of you all will also notice I write Yahweh's name on everywhere. We are to subscribe greatness to his name. Yah. We are to subscribe greatness to his name, right? So we are to write the curses and the blessings to remind our people. And these are here to this day. The world government leaders right now are having meetings about Three-Eye Atlas and the Bible. The Vatican is involved with NASA pertaining to what's coming towards Earth. Verse 30. Are they not on the other side of Jordan? Go and read Flavius Josephus. These pillars exist. You Negroes don't care nothing about archaeology. You don't care about maps. Nothing. You don't care enough to look it up for yourself. You don't care enough to look up the words and find out if it's really real, if it's really there. You just riding off, I hope I get it one day and somebody explain it to me good enough. Go and look these items up, right? By the way, where the sun goeth down, there's a map right there, in the land of the Canaanites, which dwell in the Champaign against Gilgal, beside the pillars of Moria. Listen, if you've ever watched the movie, if you've ever watched the movie called National Treasure with Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Cage ran all around looking for maps and clues to find whatever he was looking for. And that's exactly what you Negroes are supposed to be doing. I am so grateful for the path the Father brought me on. And here's a map for you if you would like it. Deuteronomy chapter 11, we're in verse 31. For ye shall pass over Jordan to go in to possess the land which Yahweh your God giveth you, and ye shall possess it and dwell therein, and ye shall observe to do all, not some, all these statutes and judgments which I shall set before thee this day. Anybody that comes teaching you that we don't have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, of the God of our grandfathers, that person is a heretic and a witch and should be cut off from our nationality. They should be put on notice. There should be posters up with wanted flyers with their names on it and the doctrines that they teach. Repeat after me. Ready? Kala Shara, Debar Yahweh, Na Aisha, Wana Shemai. All that Yahweh has said, will we do and hear. All right. We're going to go to the next book of the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 12. These are the statutes and the judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land which Yahweh, Elohim of your fathers, giveth thee to possess it. All the days that ye live upon the earth. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods upon high mountains
and upon the hills, and under every green tree. Ye shall overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their groves with fire, and ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. Verse 4 saith, verse 4, ye shall do so unto Yahweh your God, but unto the place which Yahweh your God shall choose out of all the tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation, shall ye seek, and thither thou shalt come. We have a thing, and now you're going to learn it. You probably already know about it. Some of you don't. Every man is supposed to go to Jerusalem 3 times a year. That has become almost, it has become very complicated, but it's not impossible. Do you want to weather the war to go over there now? Sure, let's go. Outside from that, whether you're an Israelite, a Christian, or a Rastafarian, all of you are supposed to have the name Zion and Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. Amma, Amma. We're supposed to have the name of our mother, Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, on our tongue. Mama Jerusalem. I'm set up facing the east. From right there, that's the direction of sunrise. Not only does my sundial in my house say so does my telescope, so does my compass. Whatever. But so does the sun right there. From right there, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Yerushalayim is our home. The Most High says he puts his name in that place. And right now, our mother Jerusalem is being bombed, is being destroyed, and being disrespected. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is coming. The one who says his eyes are always on Jerusalem, he is coming. His people were robbed and murdered. His land is being destroyed. There's innocent blood being shed. Oh boy, what joy when Christ comes. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 4. Ye shall not do so unto Yahweh, but the place, verse 13, verse 5. But the place which Yahweh your God shall choose out of all the tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation, shall ye seek. Seek Zion. Shalom Zaquan Matatawa. I gave you a call with Brother Genesis on the phone because we wanted to ask you about new moon, and we wanted to ask you about the dark moon, Zaquan Matatawa, but I wasn't able. There's different time frames in different places. So I don't know the time frame in whatever part of the world he's in right now. So when you see this, if possible, if you would like to, Zaquan Matatawa, contact me. Spoken to anyone in my family outside from me, then contact me, Zaquan Matatawa. I love you. We were trying to find out, and I would like to still find out, if the waxing crescent, the dark moon, not just new moon, because there's 2 moons. We are in a special new moon right now. We're in a special new moon right now. And I said there's 2 moon, I mean there's 2 new moon phases that we're in right now. And what I mean to say is, yes, we're in Kadash, but we're in a special Kadash. And it only happens over so many years. It's a dark new moon, right? But long story short, so we were wanting to learn. The point of saying that is to say, seek Zion. And to all the brothers that have a passion for the word of God, you have to put your mother Jerusalem first, right? I like Cincinnati very much. I love my mother, though. Verse 5. But unto the place which Yahweh your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto his home, even to Yahweh's home, shall ye seek, and thither thou shalt come. And thither ye shall burn offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and your heave offerings of your hand, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and your firstlings of your herds, and your flocks. Wait. Don't get discouraged. Don't start thinking in your head, or don't start being like, well, this don't apply to me because I don't have none of that. It's the same purpose. If any of you have joined the Masonic Brotherhood, if any of you have ever joined any type of organization which is actually operating to build people or bring people together, you're told to come with nothing. You don't have nothing to give. That's the point of this. Yahweh Shai has paid the price. Yahweh has given us everything. You don't got nothing to give, but you're still supposed to seek Zion. Even if you did bring a sacrifice and an offering, it wouldn't be worthy. So what? You go to Zion every year and you do a sacrifice. I hope by now you elders are starting to see what I believe that the Father's showing us all. Your sacrifices still aren't worthy. It's good to do. It's a good memorial. It's a good remembrance. But Lebanon is not sufficient to burn. Bring no more vain oblations unto me, O Yasharallah. So we practice rehearsing these righteous acts. But the reality of it is the Father told us to remember our home. He told us to come home. He told us what to bring. At some point in time, we had these things to give. He still wants us to come home, and we have nothing to give. Isn't that beautiful? So he's showing you. He's showing us. Y'all used to have this, and y'all brought it to me joyfully. You don't got nothing to offer me, and I still want you to come home. But this is what I require of you. Now imagine how wonderful it's going to be when we go home with nothing to offer, and then he gives us those things back, and we can give them back to him in righteousness. That's real love, man. It's heartbreaking love. Can you imagine how much more we're going to love him? Verse 7. And there ye shall eat before Yahweh your God, and ye shall rejoice in all that ye put your hand unto. And so like ye and your children, your households. Wait a minute. Households, plural. Let's talk about our whole nation. But even with our whole nation, each nation has their own households. So us and our households, wherein Yahweh your God has blessed thee. I praise Yahweh for my household. Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahweh your God has given you. But when ye shall go over Jordan and dwell in the land which Yahweh your God, your Allah, giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye shall dwell safety. Don't you want to dwell safety? Yeah. I want to dwell safe too. I want to be safe. Then there shall be a place which Yahweh your God, your Allah, shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Thither shall ye bring all that I command you, your offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes, and your heave offerings of your hand, and of your choice vows, which ye vow unto Yahweh. Just real quick. What the heck? Let's go over this real quick. First of all, Yahweh commanded us to bring things that we had and at this time do not have. We will, though. Your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, your heave offerings of your hands, your vows, your choice vows, which you vow unto Yahweh. I'm going to do this for me real quick. I like to read, I like to learn, I like to listen, I like to study. Now, I also want to ask you all, have any of you went down a list of these things specifically? Have you, like, when studying the Bible, did you learn the difference? I'm not going to pretend like I know everything, because I don't. Have you ever looked up, why did God say, what's the difference between a burnt offering? What's the difference between a sacrifice? Let me say this. Nope, I ain't going to do that. So, what's the difference between my tithes? What's the difference between the offerings of my hands and my vows of the best of what I have? I'm going to make a vow and I'm going to give the best of what I have. What are the difference of these things when we offer them to Yahweh, to our God?
That's the real question. Now, I don't want to go into an exhortation. I apologize. I have a short amount of time. But I'm asking you because I want to know, have you researched it? Have you studied? Not just like you haven't. But if you know the difference, then you'll see how much Yahweh gave us and what are the reasons for them. And then like within me, what can I give back? Because you can still give these things spiritually. You can still give a burnt offering to the Most High spiritually. You can still give sacrifices to Yahweh spiritually. You can still give your tithe spiritually. It's hard to tithe when you ain't got nothing. I need to give a repentance and apology for one of my friends or family members, somebody who I love dearly. It's hard to do it right. But there's an application for each one of these. There is an application and a way to do this, each one of these. And the majority of the time, it not only comes like what we learned in church, it not only comes from our goodness to others, but it comes from our secret blessings that we give. Sometimes it comes from us being excessively merciful to somebody. A burnt offering, man, I got a lot of burnt offerings to give. Our choice vows, I'm going to give up this most whatever. I'm going to give up something that I really, really, whatever. Because I'm expecting Yahweh to do something for me because I'm going to give this up for him. That's my choice vows. We don't have those physical, tangible animals, items. We don't have that anymore. But guess what? Hold on, one second. Hold on. Step in. Okay. Is that better? So we don't have these things, but in our actions, we can give them. And how do I say that? Because when you read the writings of the early church fathers tell us how to operate. They tell us how to operate outside from giving the physical things and the spiritual aspect. If anybody want to learn more about that, just ask me or study with me. All right. But let's move forward. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 12. And ye shall rejoice before Yahweh your God, ye and your sons and your daughters. And ye shall rejoice before Yahweh your God, ye, your sons and your daughters, your manservants, your maidservants, and the Levite that is within your gates. For as he had no part nor inheritance with you. Now explain that. In every city, there's supposed to be a Levite that's here working with me, that's helping, that's operating. All right. And that Levite, when we go places, he's supposed to travel with us. He's my Levite. It's supposed to be like that in every city. Community rules, right? Also shows us how we took care of each other. We take care of each other. Take heed to thyself, that thou offer not thy burnt offerings in every place that thou seest, but in the place which Yahweh shall choose in one of thy tribes, there thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, and there thou shalt do all that I command thee. Put a 7 in the room if you can hear me okay. If I can be heard fine, put a 7 in the room. All right, this sound is okay. All right. Just want to make sure. All right, put a 7 in the room if we can be heard, okay? All right, I just want to make sure that, we're not prophesying to the wind, okay? All right. All right, appreciate that. Let's put that right there. All right, there we go. Okay, shalom. Put a 7 in the room if we can be heard, okay? All right. That'd be a big help. All right. So let's get back to it. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 15. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates. All right. This verse right here specifically lets us know that we are not mandated to be vegans. No one can ever come along and just be like, well, it's not lawful for you to eat meat. God commanded for us to be vegetarians. Genesis chapter 1, verse 9. Now listen, the things are there. There's truth to the reality that the Most High started us on
a clean diet. This clean diet was a herb diet. The whole world the whole world ate herbs. Animals, people communicated with each other. Men, women, dragons, butterflies, bunny rabbits, birds. We used to all communicate with each other. All right. We all communicated with each other. That's the point. At the time of the fall, when sin came in, that's when the Most High gave us dominion over beasts of the field. And what dominion did He give us? Not that just we would be afraid of them, but that we have permission to eat them. We don't have to eat flesh. We just have permission to. We have dominion over them. And what that did was that set in order a chain of events of letting all the beasts of the field, because guess what? Animals can still talk. It let all the beasts of the field know that man has dominion over us. Before then, everybody was equal. The Most High made man and woman was equal before the fall. We was equal before the fall. Genesis 3:16, that's when the curse happened, that men would have to sweat and we would have to work, and that women would trick us. They would have to suffer. They would have to be up under us authority. They would have to go through pain and childbirth, but they would also seek to rule over us. Once I seen that different, I said, oh, that's why they act like that. Dang, it don't matter. Don't matter. So that's when things went upside down. But before then, we had a healthy herbivore diet. All right. Now, if you choose to be a vegetarian, that's absolutely fine. If you choose to eat flesh, then the Most High has given us permission to. All right. He's given us permission to. If it was up to me, I would just eat lamb, goat, turkey. As far as what I know right now, lamb, goat, and turkey. The rest of it, vegetables, fruits. I'm good. Right. But look, this right here, verse 12. So if anybody comes saying that we can't eat, that's not true. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thou soul lustest after, according to the blessing of Yahweh. So that lets us know, according to the blessings of Yahweh, that's not just anything that we want to eat. That's whatever He says we can eat. Or that says anything that or that's anything that He said we already could eat. All right. So that's why it says according to the blessing of Yahweh your God, which He have given thee. So we can eat some flesh, just not all flesh. We can't eat humans. We can't, we can't eat pork, shrimp, catfish, lobster, crab. All of those are abominations, and even more things are abominations. But the things He said we can eat, He gives us permission to. Right? Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thou soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of Yahweh thy God, which He hath given thee. Which ones did He give us? He gave us the dietary law. He told us what to eat, what not to eat. Okay. The unclean may eat. The unclean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck, and excuse me. All right, let me read that again. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as the hart. And that's only talking about the stag animals. Verse 16. Only ye shall not eat the dam. You shall not eat the dam, the damu. All right. Hey, blood. Don't eat the blood. All right. So the Most High forbids us to be vampires. All right. And there's so much more that goes into that. It's just, let's read. Only ye shall not eat the blood, ye shall pour it upon the earth as water. Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or of thy wine, or of thy oil, or of the firstlings of thy herds, or of thy flock, or any of thy vows which thou vowest, nor thy freewill offerings, or heave offerings of thine hand. But thou must eat them before Yahweh thy God in the place which Yahweh thy God chooses. Thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite that is within thy gate. And thou shalt rejoice before Yahweh thy God in all that thou puttest thine hands unto. Hallelujah. B'Shem HaMashiach Yahushua. Now again, of course, it's talking about us. First of all, if you Negroes don't see that it's time for us to go home, then you should consider it. Maybe something you don't feel like no spiritual pull. And I just look, I ain't asking nobody to travel with me no more. I've been told no so many times. I don't care who goes or who stays. I don't got no feelings for it no more because I needed to hear it so many times so I can know how to let people go for myself. There are so many opportunities the Father's given, and it's so stupid. I've heard stories and all kind of stuff. God sends a boat, and then the person on the roof don't get on the boat. Then God sends a helicopter, they don't get on the helicopter. The guys, and then they die, and they say, well, God said, I sent all these out, and you Negroes don't take none of these opportunities, not one. I'm so grateful that this aquarium showed us a path. The prophets showed us a path. Right now, Africa. It's called the United States of Africa passport. Every country right now is open to, if you've been a slave, if you're a descendant of the slave trade, every country in Africa is open. Every country. So the Most High shows, he says, within our land, man, he says, us and our sons, our daughters, our manservant, our maidservants, and the Levites that's within thy gates. He says that thou shalt rejoice. Now, it feels different when you go to a new school. It feels different when you go to a new school. It feels different when you move to a new city. It feels different when you start a new job. It feels so much different when you go to another country. It feels different when you leave America. There is a rejoicing that you do internally, and imagine doing that rejoicing with all your friends and family that surround you. All right. So it very much had to be and has to, it very much had to be and will be a good feeling to feel again. All right. Stop living the heritage of African Americans. Give it all the way up. We're the Israelites. We're the Laah Np, Banya Yashala. All right. We are the Hebrews that the Bible speaks of. And the word Hebrew Israelite is not in the Bible. I never said I speak to the Hebrew Israelites. I gotta get that one up. Guerrilla Hebrew killed everybody on that one. That was the dopest. So salute the Guerrilla Hebrew on that one. You know. Give it all the way up, So we are hopefully choose go home, all right, or So Deuteronomy chapter 12, when in verse 19, take heed. This is so important. Take heed to thyself that thou forsake not the Levite as long as thou livest upon the earth. When Yahweh the Elohim shall enlarge thy border as he hath promised thee, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because my soul longeth to eat flesh, that thou mayest eat flesh whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. If the place which Yahweh the Elohim had chosen to put his name there be too far, then thou shalt kill of the herd. Thou shalt kill of the herd of thy flock, which Yahweh the Elohim hath given thee, as I have commanded thee, and thou shalt eat it in thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, and so thou shalt eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. It doesn't mean eat the unclean animal and the clean animal. It means the unclean person and the clean shall eat alike. All right. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Thou shalt not eat it. Thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water. Thou shalt not eat it. That it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of Yahweh. Now, I want to stop right there. There's a few things. One, thank you, Amma, because my Amma taught me to wash my food. I've kicked it with sisters, and I thought it was gross. They take the food straight out the package, and I stopped eating certain because I be like, man, y'all don't know how to cook. Y'all don't know how to cook for real, because y'all don't prep y'all food. Y'all don't know how to parboil. Y'all know how to, clean. You're supposed to wash that meat until your hands can't handle the cold water. And you're supposed to touch it. You're supposed to squeeze the blood out of it. And if you want to, you can use some salt.
They don't know how to extract blood out of flesh. And I'm a boy. And my mama told me, and I was looking, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a lot of blood. I done seen women cut open packages of meat and just dump it in the thing. And they just sitting there sizzling the blood with me. They ain't rinsed it out. Now you nasty. I've done it. I'm taking out the package with my own hand. I squash the meat, got blood out. And I'm thinking all the time, oh, thank you, I'm gonna throw it out. And then I take the package off of the meat and be like, oh, that's a diaper. It's like, oh, that's a diaper to soak up the blood up under there. So, you have some brews that argue the point that are not flesh eaters, which I eat. I consume flesh. I consume flesh. Not very much, but I consume flesh. Not as much as I used to. But you have some brothers that are not flesh eaters, and they'll try to use this point. Well, even when you do, you still got a little bit of blood in up in there. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There's a little blood in, I think, a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But we are not purposely, intentively drinking blood. We are not. We are being very mindful, all right, of how we prepare our meats. All right. So Yahweh says right here, Deuteronomy chapter 12, and this is verse. And even this one, you're not gonna get all of it out. You're not gonna get all of it out. You're not. All right. But to that, I have to say, for all of you Hebrew Israelite vegans, vegetarians, and you think you're healthier than everybody else, the majority of y'all are eating uncircumcised vegetables. Booyah. You never heard about that, huh? Yeah, you eat uncircumcised fruits. You eat uncircumcised of the earth because it didn't grow up in its proper time frame. And it was harvested too soon. So you eating uncircumcised vegetables and we eating unclean meats. That's clean. So thank you, Yahweh, for the blood of Christ. All right. All right. So let's go down. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, that thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. And I just really want to go in on vampires so bad, but we now know vampires are icky, nasty. All right, they drink blood, they're cursed. Thou shalt not eat it. Thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water. Thou shalt not eat it, that it may well with thee and with thy children after thee, when thou shalt do what is right in the sight of Yahweh. Only the holy things which thou hast, and thy vows, thou shalt take and go into the place which Yahweh shall choose, and thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of Yahweh the Elohim. Now, keep this in mind. There is no, people say they don't understand, what you call them, they say contradictions in the Bible. So we see Yahweh told us not to eat the blood, don't drink blood, right? Right here, he tells us to pour the blood upon his altar. He says, earlier in the verse, he says, poured upon earth. Well, that poured upon the earth part comes into play when you're killing the animal, when you're sacrificing the animal, when he's first taking his life. But during the process of the Levitical sacerdotal duties, the high priest, him himself, the sacred high priest, he would take the blood and put it upon the horns of the altars, not all over the altar. The altar of the Most High, 1, 2, 3, 4, built like a square barbecue grill, 1, 2, 3, 4 points on it. The blood was put on those 4 points of the altar, and the smoke was taken up to the Most High. So there's no contradiction here. It's just reading and understanding, And if you don't know that yet, it's okay. That's why you keep going over the Torah portion over and over and over and over and over. Keep going over the Torah portion, and you got to learn something new every time. Don't tap out. Don't quit. All right. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 12, all right, verse 27, all right, and it reads, and thou shalt offer thy burnt offering, the flesh and the blood upon the altar of Yahweh the Elohim, and the blood of thy sacrifices shall be poured upon the altar of Yahweh the Elohim, and thou shalt eat the flesh. Observe, there go that word observe again, right? That word observe, all right, is to hear and to do. Observe, watch, it's the word watch and do. Hear all the words which I command thee. You see that? Observe and hear all the words which I command thee, that it may go. Man, there's no way of getting around that. There's no way of getting around that. Like I can't get down with being disobedient to what I was saying to do, or what I'm saying. We all have our faults, but Like once I see it, I couldn't unsee it, and I was called angry, all kind of stuff, and I'm like, man, we've been lied to. The Most High said, observe and hear all the words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee forever, when thou doeth that which is good and right in the sight of Yahweh thy Elohim. When Yahweh thy Elohim shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them and dwellest in their land. Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. Even when you picnic them, y'all go to school, don't get into what the Gentiles do. All right. You adults, you on your contracts, you got a great job. Don't fall into what the Gentiles do. You might become one of them. Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. After that, they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after thy God, after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Did they put up Christmas trees? Did they put on Halloween costumes? Did they kick Indians' heads up and down the streets and then eat turkeys? How did they worship their gods? Let's do what they did. Did they put on demon suits and run up and down the streets whipping children with birch branches while they rattled chains? How did they worship their gods? Did they let people come and steal their virgins so that they can be taken and raped, so that their babies could be born for Easter? How did they worship their gods? Did they throw their children in the fire and beat drums? And it's going to be good for me this year. I just burnt up my son. How did they worship their gods? Yahweh say, don't do it. Even so will I do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto Yahweh thy God, for every abomination to Yahweh which he hateth. You see that? Yes, Yahweh does hate. Have they done unto their gods, for even their sons and their daughters have they burned in the fire to their gods. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Halashara, Yahweh, Na'isha, Wanashama. All that Yahweh has said will we do and hear. Throughout the mouth of two or three witnesses. Throughout, thank you for confirmation. I'm going to go to the next chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 13. We started chapter 11. That was 12. Now we're in Deuteronomy chapter 13. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams that give thee a sign or a wonder, which is why I was one of the ones who adamantly spoke out against certain Israelites who came teaching different doctrines. If you have Israelites that come teaching different teachings, excuse me, there arise amongst us a so-called prophet. They ain't stuck to the old ways. They came up with something new, a dreamer of dreams, and he give you a sign or a wonder, and a sign or a wonder come to pass. Wherefore he's speaking to you, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. All right. Here, come over here with me real quick. OASP, a new Bible. Did it come up? No, it didn't. No. I was speaking out against this a while back, and I'm still speaking out against it. This is called the OASP. It's literally called a new Bible, but it's not a Bible at all. It's nowhere even remotely close to a Bible. The name, the title, everything about it is the imagery within it has nothing to do with our God. It says the words of Jehovah. You notice that? Look at that. Look close right here, everybody. This is a whole new, whole different teaching. It's a whole different false God. All right. Look at this. OASP, a new Bible. OASP, a new Bible, is a book published in 1882. All right, purporting to contain new revelations from the ambassadors of the angels, hosts of heaven, prepared and revealed to a man, to a man in the name of Jehovah. Now look at this. Here's the funny part about that. Earlier we read about Yahweh. Showed you the Hebrew characters for Yahweh. Look at this. If you put in Jehovah, not Jehovah. If you put in Jehovah, however that's spelled, right? Look, is the name of one of the supreme singular creator, name for the one supreme singular creator in the spiritual text, the OASP. It's not even called a Bible, a book. It's a spiritual text. Look, written by John Ballou Newborough. Look at this. In 1882, the OASP contains message allegedly from who? Not from Yahweh. See? So the name isn't the same. Look, Jovi.org. But it's not. Look, when you go to this website, look, this isn't Yahweh's word. Look, what is the OASP? It takes you to the OASP book. So the trickery, the sorcery, the witchcraft. See, this is a new God. It ain't even a God. Right? But let's go back to the scriptures. So I was speaking out against this. I'm still speaking out against this. Okay? Hold on. Let me show y'all one more thing. I don't got a lot of time. We got this is cool. All right. So let's see. So Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 2. And the sign of wonder come to pass, right? And the sign or wonder come to pass. Wherefore he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods that we saw that which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. We don't do that. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. So no matter how they look, no matter how they are, if they ain't coming teaching how it's law, statutes, commandments, I don't care if they come talking about it was an African man. I ain't doing it. We ain't doing that. We the children of Israel. You ain't gonna lead us again. It don't matter how they look. It don't matter what their rulership was on the earth. If it ain't thus saith Yahweh, according to the words of Mashah, Moses, the law, statutes, commandments, judgments, we ain't following. We ain't following. For Yahweh, your God, proveth. See? So the Lord, the Most High, He does try us. He does test us. He does tempt us. He does try us. Proveth you to know whether ye love Yahweh your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after Yahweh your God and fear Him and keep His commandments and obey His voice. And ye shall serve Him and cleave unto Him. And that prophet or that dreamer dream shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. This is what the Most High said. Not only do we worship and serve Him alone, but to kill anyone telling us or trying to convince us to worship any other gods. And if this would have been our disposition from the first place, then we absolutely wouldn't have been in this position. Wouldn't have come into it. All right. So let's finish up this chapter, and then I'm gonna lay her down. I want you to hurt your neck, baby. Oh, yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 13. All right, we're in verse 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or the son of thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul entice thee secretly, saying, let us go serve other gods which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely the gods of the people round about you, nigh unto thee, or far from you, from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth, thou shalt not consent unto him. Let's look at this real quick. Now, I've read this in English, but I've never heard the word consent in Hebrew. The word consent in our body out. Let's go to it real quick. I hope everybody can see this page. All right. Abba, ab, abba, 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 abba. All right. Not to be confused with abba. All right. Abba. All right. That sounds like but. Let me see what it says. Consent. So this is the word for consent. So abba, abba, and abba, 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 abba means to be would or willing. Uh, bah, a lot will be said by itself, and bah, not to be confused with abba, abba. The will or the willing, consent or the rest, to be content, to be willing to desire. But I like to go right here. All right. Proper to breathe after. That's pretty cool. You have to, right? Willing, prone, be inclined, me. So when you study our body after Hebrew, it's always good to go back and consider how do children talk. Like, think about this: the word face, right? F-A-C-E. You hear a lot of children, like my Banaf, they says pace. There's some children that say, but pa, P-A-H, pa is face. And when she says face, she uses a P, it's pace. Pa. So you have to form them. Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 9. But thou shalt surely kill him, thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And they shall stone him with stones that they die, because he has sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh your God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this among you. Now, this is another verse that stands out to me. Somebody asked me, like, why can't Israelites handle things in private behind closed doors? We're supposed to. But then afterwards, you take things publicly. You're supposed to handle things closed doors, and then afterwards, it's called put on blast. So, for example, if a man is a prognosticator of times, right? And you talk to him, you went to him, you try and get your words for God. Yo, you talk to him, you serious? After that, hey, come on, man. You gotta bring everybody forward, because that one man, he's gonna teach everybody to do wicked. If you have a woman that's in Israel and she's an unfaithful woman, she's gonna teach the children to be unfaithful. She's gonna teach other women to be unfaithful. It don't matter whether they're young or old. They're gonna teach them to be unfaithful. And guess what? The Most High says that that blot shall not be wiped away, brothers. Should not be wiped away, sisters. It's not worth it. Israel shall hear and fear and shall do no more. It shall hear and fear and shall do no more such wickedness as this among you. Thou shalt say, so if thou shalt say in one of thy cities which Yahweh the Elohim hath given thee to dwell there, saying, excuse me, if thou shalt hear say in one of the cities which Yahweh thy God, Lord thy God, has given thee to dwell in there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, that means the children of the devil. Like you a child of Baal. You a worshiper of that over there. You a child of Belial. All right. If you want to learn more about that, please check out Peter. Peter talks about the children of Belial all the time. talks about the children of darkness, children of light. Peter was cold. And if you want to learn more about Peter's writings, outside from the New Testament, you can learn from his scribe. His scribe's name was Clement. All right. He wrote down the things that Peter taught. He talks about the children of light, children of darkness are gone out from among you. Certain children of darkness are gone out from among you and have withdrawn the inhabitants of the city, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which ye have not known. Then ye shall inquire and make search and ask diligently. And behold, if it be true, and the thing is certain that such abomination is wrought among you. See, this is called so this would be a good investigation right here that's done. All right. This is a great investigation. All right. So first we inquire, we ask, all right, and we make a search. We ask diligently. And hold on, wait a minute. It's the truth. It's certain. See? Once you find out for sure, then you take actions. That such abomination is wrought against you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. The cattle are now contaminated because they've been worshiping other gods. They may have having sex with the other gods. The cattle with the animals, because in Egypt they were having intercourse. They were having sex with cows, which is really nasty and bad. They were getting drunk and they were having parties with cows and stuff like that. It's terrible. And that's what happened when Moses was given the ordinances from the Most High when he came down the mountain. He seen us worshiping the Egyptian false deity of wild parties and bestiality. That's why Moses was like, that's not the sound of master here, nor is that the sound of somebody being master. And then Moses went down and he said he seen the people rose to play and made themselves naked. You got to go and research which false god they was worshiping in Egypt and how was that false god worshipped. And then you'll see what we were doing. That was bad. So destroy the animals too. And thou shalt gather the soil of it into the midst of the streets. Oh, wait. Thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of the city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn it with fire, the city and all the spoil thereof, every whit, for Yahweh the Elohim, and it shall be a heap forever, and shall not be built again. Verse 17, Deuteronomy chapter 13. And there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to thine hand. Let me show you something real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 4, KJV, Blue Letter Bible. So I don't rock with having idols. I don't want no ugly, I don't want stuff from other cultures in my household. You know what I'm saying? I got a jaguar tooth, you know what I'm saying? You know. What do you all think about wearing an upside down cross? What do you think about having an upside down cross? What does the upside down cross mean? What's the purpose for the upside down cross? Would you be offended if you seen me with the upside down cross? What if the upside down cross wasn't satanic? What if it was Peter the apostle? What if Peter the apostle said, I don't deserve to die like my king did? And the white man was like, oh yeah? Well, how about this? Let's beat you just like we did the king. I just thought about something. The Romans used to emasculate people. And that's something that they took out their judgments. That's something that they took out. What if they emasculated? What if they raped Israelites? Because I know that in history, and that was a part of their defaming, what if, and dare I even say it? Pray not. apostles, no one. But what if when Peter said, I don't deserve to die like my king, they was like, okay, how about we're going to do you just like Christ, except for we're going to put you upside down. So the upside down inverted cross is actually the cross of St. Peter, because that's how he was murdered. He was crucified upside down. He was beaten, all the blood rushed to his head, to the eyeball, all that stuff, dying in agony upside down. So the upside down is not the cross of Satan, it's the cross of St. Peter, right? The St. Peter, upon this rock, I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. That's his cross. All right. Deuteronomy, we're in chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse, let's go down to 27. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 26. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land, whether to ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. Verse 27. And Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the what? Among the heathen. Whither Yahweh shall lead you. Verse 28. And ye shall serve other gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. So the Most High tells us these are the things to stay away from. Then we didn't stay away from them. He said, well, since you didn't, this is what's going to happen to you. And the hurtful part about it is the Most High tells us not to have any of these abominations around us, and then we want to act like it's going to hurt somebody else's feelings. We tell them no. You know, it's so sick. Israelites tell their own people no to all of the right things, but then they won't tell the oppressors no. They'll just accept whatever. Sticking to our culture, his law, statutes, commandments, his judgments is the only thing that's going to save our nationality, which disobeyed him. We're not supposed to hold on to nothing from this land of Babylon if we can. So purge your houses. I need to purge myself too. Purge your hearts, right? And try getting a better stand with the Most High. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 17. And there, it's like that, and there shall cleave, there shall cleave not to the, and there shall cleave not to the cursed thing to thy hand, that Yahweh may turn from his fierceness of his anger, and show thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, when thou shalt hearken to the voice of Yahweh the Elohim, to keep his commandments which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh the Elohim. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right. Kala Shara, Devori Yahweh, Naisha, Wanashaman, all the Yahweh said, what we do and hear. Deuteronomy chapter 14. Ye are the children of Yahweh Elohim, ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make baldness between your eyes for the dead. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh the Elohim. He has chosen thee to be a peculiar. The word peculiar is different or strange. So if anybody calls you different, strange, or weird, run with it. All right. So excuse us one second.
For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh Elohim. Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. And that's a big deal. Upon all the nations, above all the nations. So who told you all men were created equal? Who told you we were all the same? Who told you that? This is the same reason that the European nation calls themselves Jews and are not the Dulag. This is the same reason why they hold themselves to be of a higher, different status. This is the same reason why a lot of other nations do not respect the African American, Israelite, Negro nationality, because you don't see yourself as special. So who else gonna see you as special? The Most High said, above all nations that are upon the face of the earth, thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. There's no way around that. And that's it. Israelite Negro on Facebook eating pork. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, the goats, the harts, the roebuck, the fallow deer, the wild goats, the pygarg, and the ox, the wild ox, and the chamos. I don't know what that is. I gotta find out what that is. And every beast that parteth the hoof and cleaveth the cleft into two claws and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that's what ye shall eat. Let's get this real quick. I want to do an image. All right. So if it has a split hoof and if it chews grass, that's it. That's it. If it has a split hoof and it chews grass. Let me see if we can pull up something. There we go. 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 All right. Okay. So check this out here. A pig, it's got a cloven hoof, but you can't eat it. It chews cud. You have a cow, right? And a rabbit. These chews cud, but they don't have a cloven hoof. You can't eat them, right? Dogs, they have 4 legs, but they got paws. Rabbits has a horseshoe, right? It has a hoof, right? But it doesn't have a cloven. It doesn't have a cloven foot. So therefore, it's unclean. You can't eat it. Okay. So anything that's a we want to stay away from carnivores. Okay. So the Most High says if it has a split hoof and if it's an herbivore, if it chews cud, okay, then it's lawful to be eaten. Okay. So let's get back to this. Let's finish up real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 6. All right. And every beast that parteth the hoof and that cleaveth the cleft, into 2 claws and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that cheweth the cud, or of them that divideth the cloven hoof, as the camel and the hare and the coney, for they chew cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean unto you. The swine, because it divideth the hoof, but it cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat their flesh, nor touch their dead carcasses. Don't touch a piece of bacon. Don't touch a piece of ham. Don't touch a pepperoni pizza. Don't let it touch your plate. If you find out it's on your plate, throw the whole plate away. Don't be like, oh man, I really wanted that sweet potato. Nah, it's sweet potato pork. Oh man, that was grandma so and so. It's dead. It's contaminated. Throw it away. Go get another one. These shall eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. And whatsoever hath no fins and scales, ye may not eat. It is unclean unto you. Really simple. If it has scales and fins, we can eat it. Such as one of my favorite fish, which is cod. Cod is one of my favorite fish, right? But if you can see that whenever you go to get your fish, or whatever you're eating, this is what you need right here. It has to have these fins on top, fins on the bottom, these flippers. It has to have those scales that you shave off. If it does not, if it has a skin like a, let's say catfish, let's say it has skin like a catfish. Does catfish have scales and fins? No, it doesn't. Catfish are ugly and they taste like trash because they are trash. Catfish are shrimp of, I mean, they're shrimp, they're pork of the ocean. And look at this nasty skin. That don't look scary to y'all. It got human type skin. Look how his fin is all flipped back and around. That's scary. That's scary. And you got Negroes that eat that abomination? No, no. And then look, I can't even crack jokes with them. They be like, "Oh, but it's good though." Oh, ha 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 ha. I can't do it with you. I can't relate. I can't relate. The chapter back, the Most High said, "Kill anybody trying to teach people the prophecies or the prophesy or teach against, a prophet. Excuse me, a prophet that tries to teach against our God." Now, of course, we're not going to harm anybody. That's not what we don't want anybody to harm us. But that's how serious at that time but at this time, we're of course covered in the blood of Christ. We don't want nobody to hurt us. We don't want to hurt nobody. We just want to be clean and set apart. But that's how serious he is about this. You know what I'm saying? Catch a brick shower. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 10. And whatsoever has no fins and scales, you may not eat. It is unclean to you. Or of all clean birds, ye shall eat. But these are they which ye shall not eat: the eagle, the ostrich, the osprey, the glede, the kite, the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, the owl, the nighthawk, the cow, the hawk after his kind, the little owl, the great owl, and the swan. Let me see something real quick. Hold on, let me see something real quick. What does the owl look like with no feathers? What does the owl look like with no feathers? Yeah, we got images. I wish one of you Negroes would try to bring me one of these aliens to eat. This is what the owl look like with no feathers? Are you kidding me? That's not appealing. That's nightmare fuel. I don't I don't think we're supposed to eat them, y'all. That look like, listen, you know what I think owls are? I think owls are the alien grays. You know, the ones that be in the windows with the big eyes. I just something ain't right about it. I really don't think that. I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny to say that. Look at this. Here you go. This is what an owl looks like with no feathers. All right. So no eating nothing from the duck family. All right. Let's go back to this. I want to see. I want to see what each one is. I want to see what does the pelican look like with no feathers. What does the cormorant look like with no feathers? What does the stork look like with no feathers? What does the heron after her kind? The lapwing and what? And the bat. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 18. These are the birds that we cannot eat, right? I want to see what each one of these look like naked, like pause, no diddy. You know what I'm saying? I mean to say with no feathers. All right. 17, 18, 19. And every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you. They shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls ye may eat. Ye shall not eat anything that dieth of itself. So it is not legal for us to eat roadkill. Okay? Here, let me ask a question real quick. Let's come over here. How many states in America is it legal to eat roadkill and serve roadkill in? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's official. I don't think I like Google anymore as much as I used to, man. You know, I still do, but at least 30 U.S. states have laws permitting the personal consumption of roadkill, varying regulations regarding permits and eligible animal species. That's just off the humbug, right? States that you can literally harvest and kill food, right? So we are, a lot of us, look, I know we trust it. A lot of y'all eat, a lot of us eat roadkill. Meals under wheels. More states make it legal to eat roadkill. Kwame Asharala. Yeah. So you got a high-end restaurant eating roadkill, don't even know it. Ye shall not eat anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the Gentile, stranger, that is within thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it to the alien, to an alien. All right. So if there was a Gentile that lived amongst us, and they was Yasharala, in mentality, but they weren't physically. They were Yasharala mentality, but they lived amongst us. We could give them animals that died of itself. This is why Arabs give you a lot of stuff. They give you a lot of bad food, right? But it's food that they wouldn't eat, right? So we could give it. It's the same rule for us. We can give it to the stranger that was in our gates. So it was an Israelite-ish person, or we can give it to an alien, somebody that was just passing through. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody from another nation. We can be like, yeah, we got some dead rat meat. We got some dead rat meat. We can cook it up. You want that? We can cook it. You want that? All right. For thou are holy people, nah, I wouldn't say dead rat meat. I would say dead cow. All right. All right, that died of itself. Oh, I got a little bit too happy, huh? I thought, no, it's not wake up time. It's lay down time. It's not wake up time yet. Not yet. Shemai, just listen, Abba. Good job. For thou art holy people unto Yahweh, thy God, thou shalt not seethe a kid in its mother's milk. And this is why a lot of Jewish people don't eat cheeseburgers. All right. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed that the field bringeth forth year by year. Verse 22. Thou shalt eat before Yahweh thy God in the place he chooseth to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds, of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear Yahweh, thy God, always. If the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which Yahweh the Elohim shall choose to set his name there, where Yahweh the Elohim hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go unto the place which Yahweh the Elohim shall choose, and thou shalt bestow the money for whatever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desires. And thou shalt eat it there before Yahweh the Elohim, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years thou shalt bring all of thine house, all of thy tithe, the increase that same year, and shall lay it up within thy gates. All the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow which are within thy gates shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that Yahweh the Elohim may bless thee in all the works of thine hand which thou doest. Hallelujah, 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 Kalashara, the body Yahweh, Na'isha, Wanashimai. All that Yahweh has said, will we do and hear. Deuteronomy chapter 15. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth out his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called Yahweh's release. Of a foreigner thou may exact it again. But that which is thine with thy brother, thine hand shall release. Save when there be no poor among you. There's always going to be poor. For Yahweh shall greatly bless thee in the land, which Yahweh the Elohim give thee for an inheritance to possess it. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahweh the Elohim to observe to do these commandments which I command thee this day. For Yahweh the Elohim bless thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. If there be among you a poor man, or one of thy brethren, within any of thy gates, in the land which Yahweh the Elohim giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thy hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need and what he wanted. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year of release is at hand, and thy eye be evil against thy poor brother, and giveth him naught, and he cry unto Yahweh against thee, and it be sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thy heart shall be grieved. I apologize. And thy heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing Yahweh the Elohim shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thy hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in the land. And if thy brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy stock, and out from thy floor, and out from thy winepress. For that wherewith Yahweh the Elohim has blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. So it's time to lead a job. It's time to say shalom to the contract worlds. Well, guess what? My supervisors, they're supposed to send me away. This is called a severance pay. I'm letting you go. The time is up. Here, take cattle, take oxen. What you need? Hey, yeah, you've been rocking with us for some time, man. You did a lot of good things. Here you go. Take this. I'm going to say the contract I work with is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I really like them, man. You know, they really bless us, man. So the Most High says that we are to give to him, and thou shalt remember what? That thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt, that Yahweh, the Allahiyah, redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this day, right? And it shall, this thing today, and it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because I love thee and thine house. Because he is well with thee. Then thou shalt take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the floor, and he shall be thy servant forever, and also unto the maid servant, that thou do likewise. It shall be seen, it shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee, and serving thee 6 years, and Yahweh the Allahiyah shall bless thee in all that thou doest. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock, thou shalt sanctify unto Yahweh the Allahiyah. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy bull, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. Thou shalt eat it before Yahweh the Allahiyah year by year in the place which Yahweh shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, as it be lame or blind, or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto Yahweh the Allahiyah. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof, thou shalt pour it upon the ground of the water. Allah, 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 Allah Shara, the body of Yahweh, Na'isha, or Nashemai. All that how it said, what we do, and hear. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto Yahweh the Allahiyah in the month of Abib. Yahweh the Allahiyah brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahweh the Allahiyah of the flock of the herd of the place of Yahweh, in the place which Yahweh shall choose to place his name there. And thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction, for thou camest forth out of the land of Montezadi of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of Egypt all the days of thy life. It's a small. It's okay. You gotta stop hitting your head on stuff, man. Right. All the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen within all thy coasts 7 days, neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificeth in the first day at even remain all until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates which Yahweh the Allahiyah giveth thee, but at a place which Yahweh the Allahiyah shall choose to place his name in. There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou comest forth out of Egypt, and thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh the Elohim shall choose. Yahweh the Elohim shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. 6 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day shall be a solemn assembly to Yahweh the Elohim. Thou shalt do no work therein. Oh, great job. Thank you, baby. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 16. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number 7 weeks from such a time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto Yahweh the Elohim with the tribute of free will offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto Yahweh the Elohim according as Yahweh the Elohim has blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before Yahweh the Elohim, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are among you, in the place which Yahweh the Elohim hath chosen to place his name there. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe to do these statutes. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. And thou shalt rejoice in the feast with thy son and with thy daughter, and thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep solemn assembly unto Yahweh thy Elohim in the place which Yahweh shall choose, because Yahweh thy God Elohim shall bless thee there, shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thy hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before Yahweh the Elohim in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, feast of weeks, in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before Yahweh empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of Yahweh the Elohim, which he hath given them. The judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which Yahweh the Elohim giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect the persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. That which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which Yahweh the Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not plant the tree grove of any trees near unto the altar of Yahweh the Elohim, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set thee up any image which Yahweh the Elohim hateth. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kala Shirah, Kala Shirah, Debar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wanashamai. All that Yahweh has said, will we do and hear. Excellent. We're going to go to Isaiah chapter 54, and we're going to only read verse 11 through chapter 55. All right. So we're going to start with Isaiah chapter 54. For this week's Torah portion, we're going to start at verse 11. All right. Let's go to this page, Isaiah chapter 54. You should be able to see it, verse 11. Now, this is the prophets. All right. This is the prophet Isaiah speaking to us. I would love to do an expounded breakdown and talking and all that stuff, what we just read pertaining to Deuteronomy. But I'm going to say study to show yourselves approved. All right. And I pray how it gives me understanding also. All right.
So that was the listing of the Torah portion. Now the prophet portion, Isaiah chapter 54, verse 11. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempests, and not comforted. Behold, I will lay my stones with fair colors, and lay my foundation with sapphires. Does anybody know what this is talking about? All right. What's it talking about? Jerusalem. Yeah, it's talking about our mother, our Amma, Jerusalem. And I will make thy windows of agates, and thy gates of carbuncles, and thy borders of pleasant stones, and all thy children shall be taught of Yahweh. The great shall be, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shalt thou be established, and thou shalt be far from oppression. Shop, 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 shop. We're almost done. Shop, shop. You'll be safer if you sit still. You also will be more comfortable and you won't be harmed. Shop, shop, shakwat. Listen, Abba, Shemai. In righteousness, be like Chayah. Shemai like Chayah. You're being good and listen. All right. You also being very good. So Shemai. All right. In righteousness shalt thou establish. Thou shalt be far from oppression. For thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. How beautiful is that? Most High not only coming against those who come against our nationality, but also our home, Yerushalayim. And right now, our home is being destroyed. They're talking about World War III, etc. Listen, can't nobody destroy the world but the creator of the world. Nobody can destroy this entire aratza, this entire orb, this entire sphere. The world shall endure forever. Okay? Heaven and earth may pass away, but the word of Yahweh, love, the world, these are three things. The word shall endure forever, love shall endure forever, and the world shall endure forever. All right? Behold, I have created the smith with the blower, the coals, and the fire, that bringeth forth the instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. That's powerful, man. The Most High does and brings all things. He brings the life giver, the creator. He brings the destroyer. He makes them both. No weapon that's formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that arises against thee in judgment shall thou condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. Now, this is a very beautiful and powerful chapter, but here's the part about it. This is not taught as I believe, how I feel it should be, and this is my opinion. I believe everybody that studies this and they know this verse, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? So this is the verse everybody knows. No weapon that is formed against thee, you shall prosper. And every tongue that is rising against thee in judgment, thou will condemn, right? So the no weapon formed against you shall prosper is only going to happen whenever Christ gets here. All right, after the Redeemer of Yahshua, don't you push that off the table. After the Redeemer of Yahshua, look at verse 54, verse 5. Look at this. For thy maker is thine husband. Yahweh of hosts is his name. All right. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Yahshua, the God of the whole earth, shall he be called. Verse 56. Yahweh has called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth when thou wast refused, saith thy God. For a small moment I have forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I what? Will I gather thee. This is talking about the children of Israel being brought back. Not only us being brought back, but the promise that he said he would do for us at the bottom of the verse is where it says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But at the top, the Most High tells us what we did wrong. He tells us that look, verse 5, verse 4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither shalt thou be confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou us shall forget the shame of our youth, and shall not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. I'm a Yahshua. For thy maker is thy husband. Yahweh is our Elohim. You know what? Next chapter. All right, so let's finish this up. This is a prophet portion reading. We're going to stop at verse 5. Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 5. Isaiah 55. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. That and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money, without price. Wherefore do you spend for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear, Shariah, and come unto me. Hear, O Kayaya, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you. I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, Kayaya, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander of the people. Shariah, 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 behold, thou shalt call upon a nation that thou knowest not, a nation that knew not thee, shall run unto thee, because Yahweh the Lord the God, the Holy One of Yashala, for he has glorified you. Okay? Hallelujah. So the Most High has glorified you. He's made you special. The other Gentile nations, they're going to flee and flock and run unto you. And there's a lot of beautiful details that's in here. I think it's time for us to start to simmer down this lesson and then finish it off. We're going to finish off with John. All right? We're going to finish off with the book of John. And we're only going to do a couple verses. So please don't tear my book up. Babu Kashah. Please don't tear my book. So Babu Kashah. So don't tear my book. Babu Kashah. Mm-hmm. Come on. Okay. All right. So we're going to start here, and we're going to go to the book of John. We're going to start at verse. We're going to read the book of John. We're going to start at verse, 35. All right. So John chapter 35. Yeah, you hit your own arm on the table. I seen you. You hit your own arm. Don't do that. John chapter 35. My bad. John chapter 6, verse 35. Like she did. Right, don't do that. John chapter 6, we're going to start at verse 35. All right, if you can see this. All right, John chapter 6, verse 35. Con? John 6, 35. And Yahweh said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you, that ye have seen me and believe not. And all that the Father give me shall come to me. Hold on, Shaquat. And him that come to me will I in no wise cast out. Sadaya Serenity. Con? So Yahweh won't cast you out if you believe in Yahweh Shai. Con Kayaya? For I came down from heaven, right? Just like we see things happening in space right now, right? Hold on, let's pull this, fix your pants. Con? Right. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me, Sadaya. Con? Right. Now watch this, Kayaya. Hold on, watch this. And this is the Father's will that have sent me, that of all which he hath given me, I should lose nothing, Kan Kayaya, but should raise it up again at the last day, Kayaya, Saraya, Kan. All right. I did that backwards. Verse 40. Hold on for 1 second, 1 moment. We're only going to read down to verse 51. All right, we're in verse 40. Okay. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son and believe on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day. And the Jews then murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, is this not Yahushua, son of Joseph, son of Yahushua, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he saith, he came down from heaven? Yahushua therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not against yourselves, for, no man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me, draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. So Yahushua is going to raise us up at the last day, right? But we got to do what, Saraya? We got to do what, Chayaya? We have to endure, right? Because that's what you do. You endure because that's what you do. All right, but I'm going to help you endure. I'm not just going to tell you endure and then leave you in a box in a hole. I'm going to help you endure, right? Yes, Banaf. I'm almost done. I'm going to help you. Come on. But it's not time to, because we're almost done with reading the Torah. And then when we get done with this, then it'll be y'all's time too. All right, it'll be Abba's time to be quiet, and then it'll be y'all's time to palau, and then enjoy the Shabbat, huh? All right, that's how that's going to work. John chapter 6, verse 44. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me, draw him, and I will raise him up on the third day. Verse 45. As it is written in the prophets, so shall they be taught of Allahaya. Hold on, but now, Ma? Okay, let me help you. Every man, therefore, that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. And we can see that example in a lot of great Gentiles from the past. Here am I. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is God. Have seen the he. Hold on, Saraya. Hold on. We almost done. Go get a pamper and a wipe. Baba Kusha. He hath seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me have everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. Hold on, Saraya. Look, you see this last verse? Look, Saraya Serenity, this last verse. John chapter 6, verse 50. This is the bread which cometh down from Hashemayim, from heaven. Go get the wipes. That every man eateth thereof and not die. Yabaraka come Yahweh Shema Shek Shah. I pray everybody enjoy the Shabbat and enjoy the Shabbat. The Torah portion is for me, but it's for you. I'm supposed to study the Torah for myself. You're supposed to study the Torah for yourself. All right. So make sure what you do was spiritually inclined for you. I'm going to listen to the Torah next, and I'm going to continue to feed myself. There's many more. I'm not done. I got stuff I'm going to do. I have studies that I'm going to do. So you enjoy your day. You enjoy your Shabbat. Shalom. Peace be unto you. Shalom alaikum.